What we're doing here, we need to remove the dash fascia by starting here with some Phillips head screws on the outside of this plate. You do need to have yourself a short Phillips head to be able to access the closest ones to the door hinge. Remove those screws, and then you've got a couple across the top here. Now each car is a little different. Early cars had less screws holding it. The later cars had the most amount with 7 screws total. Now, once those are removed, we go over here and we remove the center plate. This plate here, we show a screw here. There would be one on the opposite side, and then we also would have a couple on this side over here holding this plate on. Now, believe it or not, we have to go through all that to get to this plate right here for removal. The console plate has a couple of screws here, and then we've also got 2 in the back, one here and one here, to access all the controls and switches that would be available in the console area. In this area, this car happens to have 2 sets of electric seat switches. This would be forward, aft, up, down, and you have to be really careful with these switches. They break quite easily if you put a lot of pressure on them, pushing them. Believe it or not, the plastic won't withstand that pressure. So be careful when you're working in this area that you don't be rough on the switches and push them around. So while we're here, we also have the mirror joystick. This actually gets the mirrors in and out, up and down. And then we also have a mirror select switch. This is something you have to be really careful with. The connector on the bottom of this switch will absolutely destroy the switch before it comes off of the actual terminals. So be very careful when you're pulling this up that you use something to just pry the terminals or pry the connectors off of the switch. Don't try yanking it, you'll definitely be disappointed. And then of course we got a couple of window switches. Now we have the window switches accessed after the console plate is off. These are pretty nice, they'll come up and you can pull the connector off quite easily. And we're going to get a close-up look at the neutral safety switch next. Okay, now this would be the neutral safety switch, which is subjected to a whole lot of heat because of the console tunnel, and every once in a while you have a situation that the car won't start. Very often it could be this neutral safety switch. Now the neutral safety switch does another function, which would be the reverse lights on all the automatic transmission equipped cars. If you find that you don't have any reverse lighting, check this switch. This would be a common problem. And then we go over, the last thing would be our cigarette lighter. As you can see, this opening right here, it's very important that when you go to put your console plate back in, these wires go into this hole. Don't get them caught on the outside and end up shorting out your lighter socket. It happens quite often, unfortunately.